What a night of fights and what a night of bad picks for me. I know this video is very late, but hello, welcome back to the channel. Now, yeah, how many days is that? That's like 5 days late. Yeah, that's not good on my part. Very unprofessional of me. Something just came up. Never mind. I yeah, I got the review for Misfits Series 4 KSI versus Temperrr. What an event. I mean, super crazy. A lot of wild things happen. I think, bro. Uh Misfits never fails to disappoint, bro. Just never truly never fails to disappoint. They're always coming out with bangers, always coming out with card after card, each one being better than the last one. Super exciting every time. Crazy finishes, crazy fights, crazy wars. Everything about it. It's just what an amazing event. What an amazing company. Once again, another banger to add to the list. 4 for 4. Misfits is 4 for 4. They have not missed yet. And man, how incredible. How incredible it's been and how incredible this card was. Even if I did very poorly on my picks, I went 4 for 7. So that's not good. Obviously, the mystery opponent win doesn't show up because they didn't have Pineda as the mystery opponent on Tapology. Because on Tapology they had, you know what? We're gonna get into it. I guess I'll just start with, the first fight of the night: Idris Virgo versus Anthony Taylor. This was a very, very one-sided fight for Idris Virgo. Obviously, Idris Virgo was able to get 2 knockdowns, one in the third round, one in the fourth round. He won every round. I think the knockdown in the fourth round, it wasn't even a knockdown. He pushed Anthony Taylor down, but the referee saw it as a knockdown. It doesn't really matter anyway, because Anthony Taylor wasn't gonna win. So yeah, if you put that all together, that's like 18 plus 16, 30-24, or no, 30-25. Yeah, right? Am I going crazy? No, because it was 4 rounds. Right. It was 4 rounds. So that's, yeah, out of 4 rounds, you have 18, and then you add the 8 plus 8 because of the knockdowns, which is 16. I'm going crazy. Yeah, 40-34. So I think a few of the judges had different scores. That's gonna be a common theme throughout this card. The judges were very, very weird. These are sketchy judges. They don't know what they're talking about, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the right person won anyways. Idris Virgo got the win by unanimous decision. Derailed the Anthony Taylor hype train and the 2-fight unbeaten streak. Technically 3-fight unbeaten streak if you count the Jack Fincham fight. If we go to light heavyweight, they both made their debuts at light heavyweight. Anthony Taylor with the loss, making his debut at 6th place in the light heavyweight rankings. Obviously, he is now 3-5 with 1 draw, 1 win by finish. He is currently lost 3 of his last 6 fights, and obviously Idris Virgo has gone 14 fights unbeaten, won his last 6 fights, 13-0 with 1 draw, 2 finishes. He is the number 1 contender to Slim's light heavyweight title now. And if we go to Anthony Taylor's ranking at cruiserweight, it stayed the same at number 6. So that's Anthony Taylor and Idris Virgo. We move on to one of the fights of the night: Elle Brooke versus Faith Ordway. Now, this fight was wild. This was easily the craziest fight on the Misfits, on this Misfits card. And it wasn't the most surprising finish, it wasn't any of that. It was just the craziest. 2 absolute warriors just going at it, swinging and putting everything into it. It was like the Astrid Wet Keeley's fight, except Elle Brooke fights better and Faith Ordway fought back, and they hit each other way harder. They both started bleeding. Faith Ordway went down one time, got back up, and then she went down again, and then that was it. Elle Brooke clearly looked better on the night. She's clearly the better boxer. I thought Faith Ordway was going to be able to manage her way into some kind of unanimous decision, but Elle Brooke showed that she can scrap. She can scrap. She's not afraid to engage, and she's ready for war. I think she beats Astrid Wet if they ever do fight. I think that's a huge fight. But yeah, I forgot to talk about my picks. I had Anthony Taylor by decision. Obviously, that was incorrect. Had Faith Ordway by decision. That was also incorrect. That's what I get for bragging about my good picks. Back to being humble for me. And if we go to, that's not right. If we go here at the women's super lightweight rankings, they both made their debut in the rankings and in Misfits boxing. Elle Brooke obviously at number 1, 2-0 with one finish. Faith Ordway number 2 contender, 0-1. There is still no champion at that weight class. It remains vacant. We move on to Swarms versus Ryan Taylor. And what a fight, am I right? I mean, listen, one punch was landed. One punch. Swarms, now the one punch man. Listen, okay. Here's my analysis. Swarms, so they were about a few seconds into the fight. He was like jittery. He was ready to, confuse Ryan Taylor of where he was gonna go next in his movements. He was quick. He threw one jab, it didn't land. I don't think he meant for it to land. It was just flared out there. And then he really hit with the jab, but then where the jab hit was right on the far left end of Ryan Taylor's left eye. And then what happened was the glove touched the actual eye itself. And then what happened was Ryan Taylor, they had to pause the fight because Ryan Taylor went to his corner and he told them that I can't see. So what happened was Ryan Taylor, what Storm's punch did, when it hit his eye, it did something to mess with his eye. And then they had to call the fight because he couldn't see out of his left eye. And then pretty much what happened afterwards was it came out that that punch, when it hit Ryan Taylor's eye, it had actually damaged his retina and he needed to take some time off. So now he's not going to be fighting for a while now. He took a way lighter approach to this fight, very different to this slim fight, and it's not looking good for Ryan Taylor in terms of career. He might retire. In my opinion, I think that's where he could likely go next, is retirement. This was a cruiserweight fight, I'm pretty sure. This was a cruiserweight fight, so that means that Ryan Taylor made his debut into the cruiserweight rankings. You can't see him there, which is an issue. You can only see the full image if you're on mobile. So I'm gonna actually go on my phone now and check where he places in the rankings. If I have to, okay. Just bear with me. Cruiserweight, Ryan Taylor debuted at number 11. He is currently 0-3 with one draw. He has not won any of his last 4 fights. And if we look at him in light heavyweight, he also went down 4 places. What a fall from grace for Ryan Taylor here, Not good. Not good for him. Good for Swarms, though, as you can see at the bottom there, 1-1. He's currently on a 1-fight winning streak. He went up 2 places, debuted into the top 10. He is currently number 9 at cruiserweight. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes next. Now, who would I have winning? I had Ryan Taylor winning by a knockout or TKO in the second round. I truly believe that's where the fight would have gone. Obviously, that didn't happen. It is what it is. We move on to the mystery opponent. Guys, it was Luis Pineda. And I did not see this coming. Nobody saw this coming. Come on, guys. Everybody thought it was someone else. If you thought it was Pineda, you're probably lying. Honestly, nobody. I mean, I had no clue. Pineda, the mystery opponent, I would have never guessed Pineda. Maybe if I thought of it more, but I would have never had him as my top answer. Never. But that's what made it all the better. My reaction was crazy. Oh my God. I was super pumped. And even better was that he actually won the fight. Think about it. If Pineda fought Temperrr, Temperrr would have probably beat Pineda. So it's good that he was able to go up against someone like B-Dave, who was actually he was actually able to beat. And this is what I mean when I talk about the weird judges. Look, the fight was a 30-26 fight, right? You have Luis Pineda winning the first round easily, 10-9. He got a knockdown in the second round, 10-8. And then he won the third round, convincingly. So that's 30-26, right? But you have two judges giving it a 30-25 and one judge giving it a 37. What the fuck? Listen, look, in order to get a 30-25, right, you need two knockdowns. You need the referee to start counting. The referee needs to look at the judges and tell them, show them that he's counting to signify that is a knockdown. The referee only did that one time. The referee makes it very clear whether or not a fighter going down is a knockdown or a slip or whatever, right? The referee made it clear that there was only one knockdown throughout that fight. So how the fuck do you give it a 30-25? It's impossible. And the other judge isn't any better, giving it a 30-27. He must have not seen that knockdown, even though the entire crowd should have made it known to you if the referee didn't. So I don't know what the judges are smoking, but how do you give that a 30-27? There was a clear knockdown. That has to be 30-26. Just weird judges. I don't trust these judges, man. They gave the Sensei fight to Kenny as well. These judges are weird, bro. These judges are weird. I do not trust these judges. I'm glad that most of these fights go to some kind of finish instead of a decision, because a lot of these decisions are just not good. They need to get better judges. They honestly, Misfits Boxing needs to do better with these judges, because this is not it. It's terrible, bro. It's just, you can't go this route if you want to be respected by fans, by professionals, by boxers, by the internet, by the whole scene, whatever. You need good judges, and you don't even need good judges. You could have okay judges, just judges that aren't fucking blind and give this fight a 30-25 or a 30-27 when it's clearly a 30-26. They give it every other score other than a 30-26. I mean, you know what? I'll get into it a little bit too with the Slim fight, but I had the mystery opponent winning by a third round stoppage. Obviously, the mystery opponent got it done by unanimous decision anyways, so win's a win. We move on to Salt Poppy versus Josh Bruckner. I'm going to be honest with you all. I was losing hope. All right, leading up to the fight, the weigh-in and even the pre-fight workouts, I was so certain that Josh Bruckner was going to pull off some kind of upset and get either just a brutal, sad-to-watch knockout or some kind of grueling decision. Thankfully, that's not what happened, because Salt Poppy was able to... Oh, wait, I forgot to... Hold up. Let me go back to Pineda and B-Dave, because I forgot to talk about their new rankings. At light heavyweight, Pineda... They do not show up, so let me look at 175 on my phone. Luis Pineda debuted at light heavyweight at number 10, so now he is top 10 light heavyweight. He's currently 3-8. He's won one of his last 6 fights, and he's lost the losing streak. Biggest losing streak in all of crossover boxing has now been broken. He is now coming off a win. B-Dave debuted right below him at number 11. At 0-1. If we look at cruiserweight as well, you can't see it, but I'm pretty sure Pineda, he went down 3 places. That's just because of new ranked people moving up. So Luis Pineda now at number 12 in cruiserweight. Now we're gonna look at Salt Poppy versus Josh Bruckner. Salt Poppy got it done by a brutal second round knockout. It was a left straight, one that caught Josh Bruckner off guard. I thought it was gonna be a pretty active fight. First round was very inactive. Second round was also inactive, leading up to the knockdown. A knockdown that Josh Bruckner would not get up from. It stunned him so badly that he just could not get up. He was not in the right space to continue fighting. The referee waved it off. That was it. Salt Poppy surprised me. The hype is real. If the hype wasn't real before, it is now. I believed in him. I believed in Salt Poppy. Now you can't deny him. Now it's impossible, bro. I mean, Salt Poppy, people are saying he's top 5 pound for pound. I don't think he's up there yet. I think he's touching it. I think he's at number 6, number 7. But yeah, super skilled. And if you look at the pre-fight you know, workouts, you could see Salt Poppy was only, and I mean only, like he was barely training anything else. He was working that left straight with full power on the pads. And even during the fight, you could see him throwing that same shot and missing. And he was like, he just had it here. He had that arm super stiff. He was waiting to use it. When he saw his opening, bam. You could tell Salt Poppy wanted to make a statement. Salt Poppy, he's mainstream now. I mean, geez, I had Salt Poppy winning by decision. Obviously, he got it done by knockout. Where does this put him now? For me, since this fight took place at cruiserweight, I put Salt Poppy number 1 contender, up 2 places, past King Kenny, past JMX. He's proven himself. He's on a 2-fight knockout streak, 3-fight winning streak, and it's just wild. That whole finish was wild. Very impressive. I think he's number one contender to KSI's title right now. Josh Bruckner, I put him debuting in cruiserweight as number 6. 2-1 with 1 finish still. He lost his 2-fight winning streak. He's tied with Anthony Taylor. I have him tied as. I'm pretty sure in a few weeks I might randomly change that up if I ever change my mind. And at heavyweight, I also changed something up. I put it so that Josh Bruckner went down from the number 1 contender. The new number 1 contender is now Greg Hardy. Obviously coming off the very dominant decision win against Hasim Rahman Jr., who's number 3. I think if they had to make a title fight right now, if Greg Hardy doesn't want to step up, it has to be Halal Ham versus Minicon. If not, if Greg Hardy does step up, it's got to be Greg Hardy versus someone here. Maybe Minicon, maybe Halal Ham. Who knows? But very impressive win. Still incredible how he was able to pull that off. And we move on to the co-main event for the light heavyweight title. Slim the Hitman versus Tom Zanetti. Obviously, Slim was able to get it done by unanimous decision. Very tough fight for Slim. Not going to lie. I thought, obviously, that he was going to experience some trouble early on. But then, find some openings and be able to get a finish later on once he starts to recollect himself and stay composed. But it seemed that Slim was getting more pressure later on, even with a gassed Tom Zanetti. I mean, Tom Zanetti was hitting this guy with bombs. He was around 10 pounds heavier, a little bit heavier than that. I mean, just super wild shots, real powerful as hell. It's very impressive how Slim didn't go down. But another thing is that Slim keeps his hands down a bit too much. I feel like he was getting caught a little bit with that. And his defense, Slim's defense isn't very good, but his chin has not been cracked yet. But he got hit with some powerful shots, and he was still able to come out with a unanimous decision win. He's talked about moving down to 168, super middleweight. That's where Jay Swingler is. That's where he's been killing. That's where he's been killing it. That's where he's going to fight next. That's where he killed Shirley's. And Slim, after this fight, he realized these guys are too heavy for me. I need to move down in weight because he couldn't even make 170. This was a 175-pound bout. He weighed in at 169. And Tom Zanetti weighing in a little bit over, or no, I think a little bit under, somewhere around 175. Very heavy guy, very heavy opponents he's going against, and he feels it in each fight that passes. Each fight that goes on, it's just, it's a lot for Slim, and he looked the most busted up after any fight. He looked it in after this fight. He was very bruised up. He went through war for that fight. This was my fight of the night. He went to a unanimous decision. Slim. Something I noticed with this fight. I don't remember the scorecards exactly. It was 5 days ago, but pretty sure some of these judges were giving some of the rounds 10-10. I'm pretty sure they were giving some of the rounds 10-10. Again, I don't recall entirely correctly, so I'm not going to go on a rant. I went on a rant with the Pineda one because I do vividly remember that. But I'm pretty sure they gave some of the rounds 10-10, which Obviously, that should have been the case. Those rounds were not that close. It was a unanimous decision. But yeah, I had Slim winning by some kind of finish in the third round. Obviously, he got it done by decision instead. Where does Slim rank at light heavyweight? The same as before. Light heavyweight champion, 6-0 with 4 finishes. Tom Snetti debuts in light heavyweight at number 2 now, after being the closest to dethrone him of his title. 0-1. Debuts above the likes of Deji, Face Temperrr, Ryan Taylor, Blueface, Alex Wasabi, you name it. So, very impressive there. And what's going on there? Okay. And that's pretty much it for the co-main event. We move on to the main event. KSI versus Face Temperrr. Oh my god. This was for the Misfits Cruiserweight title. KSI, obviously being the reigning champion, was looking to get his first defense against Face Temperrr. And my god, did he do that. Face Temperrr obviously stepping in on 10 days notice. Was still training a lot before that. But, the opponent switch up for both guys must have been weird to accustom yourself to. Not an issue for KSI. He had a little bit of trouble getting in and landing clean in the beginning of the first round. Obviously, at the end of the round, or near the end of the round, in the last minute, he was able to kind of find himself, find his rhythm, and he saw that opening. He went for it. He threw those shots with everything he had, and Temperrr was down. Tried to get up, fell back down. It was over. First round knockout win for KSI. It's the first time KSI's ever gotten a first round knockout. Jake Paul had done it many times. Now KSI's doing it, and wild. Very, very, very wild. Did not expect that to happen. I thought Temperrr was going to be a huge issue for KSI. Turned out to be not that big of a problem. And KSI successfully defends his title for the first time. And, Face Temperrr, he's 2-2 now. He's been knocked out twice brutally in, the early rounds. So, I mean, that's pretty tough to go through 2 devastating knockouts from 2 very, very heavy hitters such as Slim, such as KSI. It's just, it starts to bring up that conversation of, is Face Temperrr's chin the same as it was before? Is it still good? His chin has been cracked already, and I don't know. He seems like he still wants to fight. He's been trading wins and losses throughout his career right now, and it seems that he will continue fighting. He will fight again. If he gets knocked out one more time, though, that may be the last time that he fights. If we look at the rankings in Cruiserweight, KSI remains the champion, now 5-0 with 1 draw, 4 finishes, and Face Temperrr obviously went down 1, whereas Face Sensei went up 1. Face Temperrr now 2-2. He went win-loss in his last 4. Still has 1 finish against Overflow. And if we look at light heavyweight, Face Temperrr went down 2 places. So he is now number 5 at light heavyweight. I forgot to change his record at light heavyweight too. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the fights. I had KSI winning by some kind of finish in the 5th round. Came by finish in the 1st round. So even better. But I think I'm going to get into the current streaks that these guys have. What I mean by that is the win streaks of right now, the only weight classes that competed besides, women's super lightweight, because there's only 2 fighters there. So you can't really make a top 5 out of that. The only other weight classes that competed were cruiserweight and light heavyweight. So I'm gonna explain to you the current streaks. Light heavyweight win streaks. Right now, tied at number 3 is Alex Wasabi, Deji, Brandon Buckingham, and a few others. All tied at number 3 with a 1-fight win streak. At number 2, it is the current champion Slim. Currently has a 6-fight winning streak, 6-0. And the number 1 biggest win streak at light heavyweight is obviously Idris Virgo with, hold on, I could just pull him up, Nah, it'll take too much time. Idris Virgo has the highest win streak. I have 10-fight win streak there. Oh yeah, 10-fight win streak, obviously because of his the draw. So he's currently on a 10-fight winning streak and a 14-fight unbeaten streak. He's won all 6 of his last fights. Very impressive for Idris Virgo there. If we go to cruiserweight, we have a clear top 5. Number 5 at cruiserweight right now is, in fact, Swarms. He currently is on a 1-fight winning streak. He's on a 1-fight knockout winning streak as well. Swarms is at number 5. Number 4 for cruiserweight win streaks is King Kenny. I don't have him pulled up, but he is at number 4. He has a 2-fight win streak right now. Tied at, what is that? Tied at number 1. All of these guys are tied at number 1 right now. One of them is, in fact, Salt Poppy, who is on a 3-fight winning streak, 2-fight knockout streak. Another one is JMX, who I don't have pulled up, but he is on a 3-fight winning streak as well. And obviously, the other one is the current reigning champion, KSI, who is on a 3-fight winning streak, 6-fight unbeaten streak. Those are the current impressive streaks at light heavyweight and cruiserweight. Yeah. Very impressive to see what Misfits have accomplished with this card. A lot of people have been saying it's the best Misfits card so far. And I don't know what the direction is going to be for the next one in February the 25th. I hope it's something good. I hope they stack up that undercard a lot because the main event isn't looking super stacked. You know, but I hope that once the undercard comes out, it's enough for me to tune in. It's enough for me to tune in anyways. You know, it's going to happen in London. I'll be watching at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Or is it like 1 p.m., 12 a.m.? Not a.m., p.m. It's somewhere in the afternoon. I forgot the time. But, yeah. Because then during the afternoon, it's the Misfits fight. And then during the night, it's the UFC fight night. On February 25th, they've got a pretty nice fight night on that day. So yeah, that's my review of Misfits Series 4 KSI versus FaZe Temperrr. Not a good day of picks, but let's hope that Misfits Series 5 is my night for good picks.